Hi, welcome back to my story time with Nana. I have a whole new story for you this week. It's another kid getting another job. This story is almost true and it could happen anywhere. I can't wait. Let's begin. Alison gets a job. Oh, congratulations! I'm so happy for you, Mommy said into the phone. If you need anything, please call. I have 5 children of my own, and we would be happy to help. They know farm life. 10-year-old Allison was helping with breakfast. She was making her famous oatmeal for her brothers and sisters. Mommy was talking to their neighbor across the road, Mrs. Cuddy. She had a horse farm. Breakfast is ready, Allison called out. Yippee! The children yelled. They were waiting at the table. Allison's oatmeal was their favorite. She always served it with fresh yogurt. Mommy hung up the phone and helped Allison bring breakfast to the table. She told the children that Mrs. Cuddy had just had her baby. I offered to help, but she said she would be fine. How about we make some meals for the week for her? That sounds like a great idea, Allison said. The next few days after their farm chores, Mommy and the children made meals for the Cuddy family. And even though they lived on a farm themselves, the children enjoyed going over to the horse farm to drop off the meals. 2 weeks later, Mommy was on the phone with Mrs. Cuddy again. Sure, we're happy to help, she said. Oh, yes, Allison is very responsible. I am sure she'll be a big help. What was that all about? Allison asked when Mommy hung up the phone. Well, it seems that Mrs. Cuddy needs some help after all. She asked if you would like to help with the stables. You mean a job? Yes. What do you think? I think it sounds great. What do I have to do? When do I start? Will I get paid? Whoa, Mommy said with a smile. You start tomorrow, after your chores. She needs your help in the mornings. When you get over there, Mrs. Cuddy said someone will be there, and she'll tell you what you need to do. I can't wait, Allison said. She only needs my help? What about Lena? How about Nora? Well, for now, she only needs one helper, Mommy answered. And as for payment, well, there'll be no money. Instead, she mentioned something about riding lessons. I hope that's okay. What? Riding lessons? This is going to be the best job ever. Well, it is going to be hard work, but I think you'll do fine. You know about farm animals and the cautions needed when dealing with large animals. Allison was so excited. A job, a real job. That morning, after helping with breakfast, Allison went about her chores. She brought her siblings down to the small barn to check on the bunnies. One of the rabbits had had a litter of kits. That's what you call baby rabbits. So they needed to make sure they were being taken care of by their mommy. The best part of that chore was holding the baby bunnies. There was also a chicken coop where the younger children collected eggs while Allison filled a bucket with meal for the goats and the sheep. By the time they finished in the barn and headed out to the farm, Mommy had their cow Lucy ready for milking. Lena and Nora helped Mommy while Allison and her brothers went about feeding the goats and the sheep. Allison needed James and Danny to distract the goats so she could get the food into their corral. That morning, Allison thought about her job at the horse farm. She was so excited. She loved animals, all animals, but horses, they were so beautiful. She couldn't wait. She was dumping the meal for the goats when she noticed that Calamity was way in the back of the corral. Hey, Mommy, Calamity is acting weird. She's not coming to eat. Mommy looked up and saw that Calamity was laying down in the far end of the corral. Lena, I need you to finish milking Lucy for me. I have to go see what's going on with Calamity. Lena sat on the stool and started milking Lucy, and Mommy headed back to the back of the corral. Oh my, Mommy called out. Kids, come look at what Calamity has done overnight. The children ran into the corral, and there was Calamity with two babies, a buck and a doeling. That means a boy and a girl goat. They were adorable. Life on the farm was always exciting. The children spent the rest of the day playing with their new baby goats. And that night, as Alison lay in bed, she drifted off to sleep thinking about her new job tomorrow, working on a horse farm. The first day of Alison's job started like all her days. She helped her mother with breakfast, fed the goats, cleaned up the chicken coop and the rabbit pens with her brothers and sisters. And then at 8 o'clock, Mommy called the children together, and they all walked with Alison to the road she would cross every day to get to her new job. Now, this was a busy road, but Mommy was there to help her cross because there were no stop signs or traffic lights to slow the cars and trucks. Mommy only gave her two rules. 1, call when you finished so we can meet you here. And 2, have a great time. Once she crossed the busy road, Alison started walking up the long driveway to the main house. She was a little nervous. She knew about farm animals, but she didn't know very much about horses. Maybe she wouldn't be very good at being a stable hand on a horse farm. There were people standing around near the side of the house. They all looked older than Alison. Alison felt nervous. A young woman with her dark hair pulled back into a ponytail, wearing jeans and an orange and gray flannel shirt, walked over and introduced herself. Hi, I'm Francesca. Are you Alison? Yes. Great to meet you. Mrs. Cuddy said we would be getting some new help. Francesca put her arm around Alison's shoulder, and they started walking toward the stables. Do you know anything about horses, Alison? I know about cows and sheep and goats. Oh, good. So you have experience with farm animals. Francesca opened the double doors of the stables. Welcome to one of the best jobs a kid could have. Alison looked around, and there were horses in the stalls on either side of the stable. Each stall had a bucket hooked to the stall door. Wow, she exclaimed. There's so many of them. We have 32 horses to care for, she said, walking down the center of the stables. Now we have several breeds, and you will learn about each breed the longer you are here. Most of our horses are American quarter horses, but we have a couple of thoroughbreds and ponies. Wow! I just thought a horse was a horse. I didn't know there were different kinds. Well, aren't there different kinds of goats and sheep and cows? Oh, yeah. I suppose I just never thought too much about it. Well, okay. So the first thing we need from you is to collect all the buckets and take them to the feed room, Francesca said, taking down one of the buckets from the stall door and handing it to Alison. The feed buckets were empty. Alison began the task of stacking the buckets, and then she and Francesca carried them to the feed room. It was like the kitchen for the horses. They cleaned out the buckets and swept the floor and got the feed buckets ready for the horses' evening meal. Francesca then led Alison to the washroom. That's where they washed the horses. This room needed cleaning too. Why do you need to wash the horses? Alison asked. Oh, wait till you see. Those silly horses, when we take them out to train them, Francesca told her, they're like giant dogs. They love dirt and mud. Haven't you ever seen a horse roll in the mud? No. Well, they do. And our final job of the day is to give them a bath. Allison was amazed at everything it took to care for the horses. It was a lot of work. After they cleaned the washroom, she and Francesca went back to the stables. There were several farmhands cleaning out the stalls. Now, when you get a little bit older, Francesca told her, and bigger, you'll be helping in here too. Okay, now for your payment, Francesca said, leading Allison out into the horses' corral. This is the best part of the job. Most of the horses were in one corral, and some of the farm hands were saddling up horses and leading them into a pasture. Have you ever ridden a horse before, Allison? Francesca asked her. Oh, no. Am I going to ride a horse today? She asked. Absolutely, Francesca told her. Today you're going to learn how to ride, but while you're learning, you're going to be teaching the horse control. Today you learn the 4-loop serpentine. They walked over to the pasture and Allison saw the most beautiful horse she had ever seen. It was all white. Meet Penelope, Francesca said. Feel her coat. It's so thick. Allison rubbed her hand along Penelope's body up to her chest, and Penelope lowered her head to her and sniffed her hair. She's getting to know you, Francesca told her. And so on her first day as a farmhand on a horse farm, Allison learned how to prepare feed buckets, clean a horse kitchen, swab out a washroom, and she rode a horse. A beautiful horse. Just before lunchtime, Francesca called Allison's mother to let her know that Allison was on her way home. As Allison walked down Mrs. Cuddy's driveway towards her house, she smiled. How lucky was she to live on her own farm, tending to her own cows, goats, sheep, rabbits, and a variety of birds. Now she was taking care of horses. Allison began running down the driveway. She couldn't wait to get home to tell her parents and brothers and sisters about her first day on the job, her day as a stable hand and a horse trainer. What a job. The end. Wow, how exciting is that? You offer to help somebody and you get something even more in return. She was just being kind. I think this is a great story. I hope you enjoyed it tonight. I love this story. Don't forget to share my stories, and I'll see you next week with another kid and another job. Mwah.